So we're going to do the same thing for T3 with these same points. So right here, we're still doing the x2 minus x1 and then y2 minus y1, which is right here is going to be 1.5. This next one's going to be 9.25, and then this next one's going to be 7. So if you do 2 minus 3, and then 5 minus 5.5, it's going to be 5.5, and then 2 minus 6.5, and 5 minus 5.25, which is 4.75, and then 2 minus 1.5, and 5 minus 3.5 is going to be 2. This next one's going to be 10.5. This next one's going to be 2.75. This next one's going to be 7. And then you continue to do the math for each one. You're going to get 4.25 for this one, and then 8 for this one. And 7 minus 3 is 4. 5 minus number 5 is this, so this one's going to be 8.5. 7 minus 6.5 is 0.5, and then you do 5 minus 2.5, which is going to be 0.75. 7 minus 1.5 is 5.5, and then 1.5, which is going to be 7. And this next one's going to also be 8.5, and then this one's going to be 1.75, and then 5, and then 9.5, and then 8.75, then 2, and then 1.5 to 6.25, and then this one's going to be 8. So then again, we're going to do the cluster thing one more time. So the lowest one is going to be the first one, and then this one's going to be the third one. This one's going to be the second one. This one's going to be the first one again. This is the second one. This is the second one. This is the third one. And this is the first one. So for the first one on this one, we have 3 different ones. We have our 210 and our 49, but then we're going to add 5, 5, 8 as our point. For our second one, we cut down 1, so now we just have 8, 4, then 7, 5, then 6, 4. Then for our third one, we have 2, 5, and then 1, 2. So again, our math for this one is going to be 2 plus 4 plus 5, divide that by 3, and that's going to be 3.67. And then this one's going to be 10 plus 9 plus 8, divide that by 3, and this one is going to be 9. So this is our point here for this one. Cluster 2, you're going to do 8 plus 7 plus 6, divide that by 3, and you're going to get 7. And that's going to be that, and then this one's going to be 4 plus 5 plus 4, divide that by 3, and you're going to get 4.3. So this one's going to be it. This one's going to be the same thing as it has been, just because there has been no adding for the points. So it's going to be 3.5, and then we have 1.5 and 3, 5. So you go to our T3 table, and you mark, X marks the dot. So here we go. 1, our cluster 3 is 1.5 to 3.5. There's our X right here. And then 3.679, so you kind of go over here to here, and then you draw it, and it's right here. And then we have 7, 4, 3 for cluster 2, so 7, and then 4.3, which is right about here. So then again, we draw our circles again. So we added a point to our first cluster, which is going to be 0.1, which is 5, 8. So this is going to be right here. So this is cluster 1. And then our second cluster, we only have A3 and then B2 and B3. So it's going to be right here for our second cluster. And then for our third cluster still only has 2. So that is for T3. Now we're going to move on to our fourth one, but then add these final points onto here. So for our first one, we have, get that out of the way. We have right here for our first cluster, we have 3.67, then 9, and then 7, 4.3, and then 1.5 to 3.5. So doing some of the math prior to, we have 2.67 for this one. in math right now, and then we have 10.7 for this one, and then 7 for this one. So 2 minus 3.17 is going to be 1.67, sorry, 67. And then 5 minus 9 is 4, so then you have 5.67 as your final answer. So you're going to do the same thing here, the same math, your x2 minus x1 for all of these. And you continue to do it. We'll do right here, we'll do 8 minus 7 is 1, and then 4 minus 4.3 is this, so it's 1.3. So 8 minus 1.5 is 6.5, and then plus 0.5 because 4 minus 3.5, and so that's going to give us 7. So you just continue to do math for each point, and then you end up with these answers. So we'll do another one. 6 minus 3.67 is going to be 2.33, and then 4 minus 9 is 5, so that's going to be 7.33 again. So then 6 minus 7 is 1, and then 0.3, so this one again is 1.3. 6 minus 1.5 is 4.5. 4 minus 3.5 is 1.5, so that's going to give us 5. And then we have 9.67 here, 8.3 here, then 2 here, then 6.3. Do it again. 3. 7 minus 3 is 4 minus 3 is negative 3, absolute, so it's 3. And then 9 minus 4.3 is 3.7. So then you're going to have, put that together at 7.7. And then 8 for this last one, because 4 minus 1.5 is 2.5. 9 minus 3.5 is 5.5. After that together, you get 8. So we're going to do the same thing one last time for our clusters, whichever is the minimal amount is going to be our cluster for each mean. So we have 1 again. This one's 3. This one's 2. This one's 1. This one's 2. This one's 2. Then this one's 3. Then this one's 1. So we have 210 again, and we have 49 again, and then we have 75. And then for cluster 2, we have 84, and then 75, and then 64. For cluster 3, we have 25, and then also we have 1, and then 2. So we're gonna go through here, and for our last one, we're gonna do the math again, which is going to be the same thing as our T3 table, because these are the same values. So 2 plus 4 plus 7 divided by 3 is going to be 3.67. Then 10 plus 9 plus 5 divided by 3 is going to be 9. And then 8 plus 7 plus 6 divided by 3, and then 4 plus 5 plus 4 divided by 3, and that's going to be 7 again, and then this one's going to be 4.3, because 4 plus 5 is 9, and then 9 plus this is 13. 13 divided by 3 is 4.3. And the same thing for this one. 2 plus 1 divided by 2 is 1.5. And then 5 plus 2 divided by 2 is 3.5. I don't know if I mentioned earlier in the video, but your division is by the number of points that you have. So there's 3 here, and then 3 here, and then there's 2 here. So that's why that was divided by 2. So you go here, and this is going to be our final cluster. And I pointed all the dots, and so here we go. We have our points 3.679, and then 7.7, and then 4.3 is going to be here, and then 1.5 to 3.5 is going to be here, and you cluster them one more time by the name of their points. So A1's here, so A1's here, and then C2's here. And then B2's here. So you see that right here. So this is going to be a cluster. This is B2. And then this one's B1. So And then for cluster 2, we have B1, B3. No, this one is B1. Yeah, B1, and this one's B2. So here, we're gonna put that right there, and then we'll just write this on B2. So B2, B3, and A3 are all in cluster 2. And then C1 and A2 are in cluster 3. So this is the final, this is like as far as you can get with clustering, working with an 8x3 matrix.